Welcome back to Judge Judy Unfiltered, where we break down the most intense and unbelievable cases from the courtroom floor. Today, we're diving into a classic neighbor dispute that spirals out of control, involving keyed cars, conflicting stories, and a surprise video that changes everything. Let's set the scene. Miss Davis is suing her former friend and neighbor, Miss Johnson, for vandalizing her car. She claims that on May 30th, Miss Johnson deliberately keyed her vehicle. The two live in the same apartment complex, but their friendship has clearly soured. The judge starts by trying to establish a simple fact: the parking situation. Miss Davis says Miss Johnson keyed her car. The judge asks if their parking spaces are next to each other. Miss Johnson immediately gets defensive, claiming she changed her spot before the incident, so she had no reason to be near Miss Davis's car. But then she contradicts herself, and the judge has to shut down her attitude right away. The judge senses something is off and asks Miss Davis if she ever changed her parking spot. Miss Davis says yes, she moved her car after it was keyed. Then comes the bombshell. Miss Davis claims she has video evidence. The judge, clearly intrigued, asks to see it. On the screen, we see two cars parked side by side. Miss Davis confirms they are both her cars. Next to them is Miss Johnson's car. The judge points out the obvious. On the day of the incident, Miss Johnson was, in fact, parked right next to her. The video then shows a figure, identified as Miss Johnson, squeezing between Miss Davis's car and her own. The judge asks her point blank, what were you doing between her cars? Miss Johnson's defense is weak. She claims she can walk wherever she wants and that she ease-walked between the cars before without any issue. It's a flimsy excuse, and it doesn't explain why she would be pressed up against the vehicle. But the drama doesn't stop there. Miss Johnson has a counterclaim for harassment and assault. She alleges that earlier on the same day, she was attacked by Miss Davis and her girlfriend, Dakota. According to Miss Johnson, she was getting into her car with her 4 kids when Dakota ran up and started a fight. She claims she had to defend herself with a metal object while her daughter was having a seizure in the back seat. She also alleges that Miss Davis was recording the whole thing instead of helping. The judge is skeptical. She asks Miss Johnson if she really expects the court to believe she was just casually walking between the cars to say hello to a neighbor after allegedly being assaulted by that same neighbor just hours before. It just doesn't add up. The judge then pulls out Miss Johnson's sworn statement, her written answer to the complaint. In it, Miss Johnson tells a slightly different story. She wrote that she was pulling into a neighbor's driveway when she and Miss Davis accidentally bumped each other. She claimed Miss Davis then screamed at her, grabbed her hair through the car window, and hit her multiple times in the head, all while her children were in the car. The judge catches the inconsistencies immediately. First, the story itself seems unlikely. If you were just assaulted, why would you then go out of your way to walk right next to your alleged attacker's car? Common sense dictates you'd avoid them at all costs. You'd park somewhere else, you'd take a different path, you wouldn't put yourself back in a potentially dangerous situation. The judge then asks to see the repair estimate for the damage, which amounts to $625. While looking it over, she returns to the alleged assault. Miss Davis flatly denies touching Miss Johnson and says she has a video of the fight. The judge, trying to get the story straight, asks Miss Johnson to clarify. Just moments ago, she said Miss Davis's girlfriend was the one who assaulted her, but her sworn affidavit, the legal document she signed, clearly states it was Keisha, Miss Davis, who grabbed her hair and hit her. Miss Johnson's story continues to crumble. When confronted, she tries to backtrack, saying it was her girlfriend and her. Then she adds that someone had a taser. The judge is having none of it. She tells Miss Johnson that her constant attitude is making her look less truthful and less intelligent. The judge reads the affidavit back to her, word for word. Keisha grabbed my hair through the window and hit me multiple times in the head. Now in court, she's blaming the girlfriend. She tries to say it was both of them, but the damage is done. Her credibility is completely shot. With a mountain of inconsistencies, a defiant attitude, and a story that makes no logical sense, Miss Johnson has failed to convince the court of anything. The video evidence of her squeezing between the cars was the final nail in the coffin. The judge delivers her verdict swiftly. Judgment for the plaintiff, Miss Davis, in the amount of $625 for the car vandalism. As for Miss Johnson's counterclaim of assault and harassment, dismissed. The judge tells her goodbye and the case is closed. This case is a masterclass in how not to behave in court. Contradictory stories, a bad attitude, and illogical explanations will almost always lead to a loss. The video evidence sealed the deal, but Miss Johnson's own words were her undoing. What do you think? Was the verdict fair? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Courtroom Chronicles.